Good evening, dear students of grade 9 of ICSE. Today I'm going to explain something about the poem Television, which is something of greater importance for all, which has got certain morals also. We would see how important this poem is. I'm just going to give you the summary as a recap. Just listen to it very carefully. And this is one of the best poems written by the most popular author of the children named Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl. He inspires and advises the youth to read books instead of watching the television. This is how the poem starts. He explains that watching the television excessively blocks one's power of imagination. We know that most of the children are engaged in their own things, not wanting to study, not wanting to do anything which is going to be helpful to them in future, not wanting to help the parents in the household chores, maybe in the work, father in some family business, and even mothers there, sometimes whether it is a boy or a girl, sometimes when the mother is not healthy, when the mother feels weak, children, whether boy or girl, are expected, whether boys or girls, they're expected to do some sort of help to the parents, but they don't. Most of them are found engaging themselves in watching television or in the mobiles, watching some films in the mobiles. These days YouTube is there, so something else disturbs them, and they are in a position not wanting to do anything which is useful. And this television is something which is blocking their power of imagination. Why is it so? Some think that watching television brings them to a different world, teaches them so many things. But it is not true. On the other hand, to some extent, something is correct. That brings a different imagination. Yes, correct. Something which is unwanted, of course, will be done by the children. That will be imagined. Something which is not true is brought into them. And their creativity is dying just because of these films or otherwise the television. And here the adverse effects will also be seen. Adverse effects on health and health of the children. The body movements will also be affected very badly because of the stagnance that is found. Because if at all they are sticking onto the televisions right in front, they will not be moving here and there. They adhere to it, they focus on that. They would not even just pay attention to what is being said. Even if at all there are some calls from the parents addressing them, calling them, they never respond to, because they are totally engrossed. They're totally engrossed in watching the television here. And here the creativity is also killed. It makes one dumb and blind also, because over the period of time, over some period, of course, what's really going to happen is the eyes are getting affected. And nowadays you see, because of too much of watching, children in their very young age, they will have to just go for high power glasses, high power spectacles. And in a very few cases, or otherwise you can say rare cases, Yeah, by birth, some children will have to wear the spectacles, but not everyone. But most of them, just because of this, the effects of these watching television, the experiences of watching television, you find most of the children wearing or coming to a state where they're forced to wear the spectacles, otherwise their sight is getting affected and they would not be able to see. Their vision is lost, otherwise the vision is affected very badly. And here the poet is emphasizing reading more and more books will be better, because through the reading of the books they can just come to some discoveries, they can know some discoveries and learn many new things. And he also comes to say that a way to add to the joy is found in reading. Fulfillment in life comes through reading. Exploration comes through reading. What is that exploration? Exploring the exciting world. Yeah, through this, of course, we come to know about different people, different places in the world, and different experiments. Some successes and some failures of lives of others can also be known through this, instead of watching them. Watching can be limited. Watching a television, of course, it's not something that has to be prohibited completely. Can be, but it should be under some control. Now, coming into the main part, of course, the poet begins with an advice. Yeah, he starts with an advice here. That is what we have already seen. He advises not to install the television in the home at all. There are some people who are really blessed if at all they had no television at homes. That is what he really means to say. Not install the television at the home. He calls it an idiot thing. Of course, he is very blunt in saying, because it is spoiling even the relationship also. The family bond is not found amongst the children and the parents. Even between the spouses, sometimes it is not found at all. Proper relationship between brother and sister, husband and wife, parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, all these are not found at all. Even amongst the relatives, when they just come as guests, sometimes as visitors, yeah, they cannot, the others, the hosts cannot pay attention to them. Their presence may not be, or may not have been felt at all, and that really hurts very badly. Yes, throughout the poem, the poet is attempting to answer the question to why television is an idiot thing. Why is it an idiot? Why is it something which is useful? Useless, sorry. Useless. This is what he's trying to explain. He shares his experience where he has seen many children watching the television with eyes wide open and full concentration, not wanting the others to come and disturb them at all. And they are just totally engrossed in watching that completely. And finally, what happens? Of course, they are not there in the rest of the world at all. They are in the world engrossed with watching the television completely. And what happens finally is they are away from all the human bonds. They keep on watching the television until their eyes pop out. That means eyes get tired. Moreover, they become still for long hours. They even forget the real world. The world is not even taken care of by them at all. They don't even bother about the world. So what else can be thought of? The one happening on the television becomes real for them. Whatever happens there in that box is nothing else but the television itself. The whole world, they think the whole world is seen in that television box. So why to leave that box and go? I cannot go to the moon, but moon can be seen here. I cannot go to America, but I can see America here itself. I cannot go to the other world, but I can see that whole world here right in front of me. I'm trying to know something better. So why should I go? I cannot play every game, probably because my father and mother, they may not afford to send me or get them to me or make me go because of the evil found in the world. They may not want me to just go out at all. But in some cases, I just wanted to see the whole world here itself, all the games here itself, right at home. But what they are missing is something out of reading. Of course, a little time or a short time which is spent there in front of the television may be of some use, but spending more of the time spoils or affects their sociability, the social relationships, and trying to become the leaders. They want to be the leaders, but they cannot become the leaders. They just put all their efforts, but they just regret at the end why they have failed when they have to attempt them when the time comes. But they are not able to realize why this has happened. Money is thrown by the parents. Yes, I'm able to throw each and everything, but why is this happening unto me? Why is this that I am not able to get what I am planning to? I'm not able to get that which I have aimed at. So this, of course, is really affecting the children very badly. So that is what here we need to observe, and all will have to observe that same thing. It's very, very clear. Now, uh, they do not care even on getting too tired of watching. Of course, they are not tired of watching that too much. They keep on watching television until their eyes get tired, and that goes on. The one happening on the television becomes real for them. Everything seems to be real for them. Yeah, because of course some realities will also be seen. Certain real shows are there. What is happening in the world is seen here. There is no doubt about it. But the practicality is not found because their physical bodies, they become almost motionless. There is no movement. They are not able to move anywhere. Of course, they can just rather go for some games, enjoy these games, and then come inside, take some rest, and then have whatever. They can just relax their minds by reading some of the books and also watching the television for a while. That is okay. But here, what is found is more of watching than doing anything else is something which is affecting not only the creativity. Their mental abilities will also be killed. Their body is also become lethargic completely. Thus, they are almost captivated by the idiot box, is what he has said. Idiot box. They are drunk. How is that? They are not drinking the wine, but they are drunk right now. They have almost become drunk. Those people who drink the wine, of course, they might be better according to the poet. He might be feeling that one. The minds are filled with those shocking, ghastly junk. What is the stuff? The ghastly junk is there. The ghastly stuff is found there in the televisions. They are totally busy with that. That is almost artificial and unsuitable for the generation. It's artificial. They are all the created ones by others. And that is now no way useful for these children. But children are mostly found with them only. Those TV shows kill their valuable time, making them lazy. They don't find time for the physical playings, the physical exercises. They find no time for the books and nature. They are not able to enjoy the nature at all. And they are not able to interact with others, as earlier said. Yeah, nature, of course, they can just go to the ground, sit for a while, breathe in the fresh air, and then they can come. But no, that's not is happening. Most of the children are pampered like anything, very badly pampered by the parents, some of the parents. And that is how children are their children's health is also spoiled. They think only about the wealth but not the health. This is the problem which is cropping up. The poet says the television keeps the naughty children quiet. To some extent, this is a positive note. Naughty children keep quiet because of the television. They don't climb out the window sill, fight, kick or punch, and let mother free to cook food and wash the dishes. However, he adds it cannot be a defense. Some parents come, because of the television, my child is at least able to do his or her work. Yeah, just watching the television and I'm able to do my work. Actually, my child is very naughty. and spoils the things. Because of this television, at least the child is watching that, creating no nonsense for me. Mother can say, even father also can say. But spending more of time with the children, of course, in a different manner, of course, creative parents will create different kind of an atmosphere where they can just make themselves happy by making the children happy. But this is not really happening. And that is the reason why he comes to say that parents cannot use this as a defense and let them sit in front of the of a television. By making them sit in front of the television, they cannot just defend themselves. He understands that it does more damage than good. You think that they are silent, but silence, on the other hand, is going to kill the future silence also, because they will come with an outburst later. Who knows? Nobody knows that. Things are going to be very dangerous. That is what the parents will have to bear in mind. Furthermore, the poet asks the parents if they exactly understand what they are doing with the lovely children. What is it they are doing with the children? What are they giving birth to these children for? Is it only to just say that we are proud of the children or proud of having children? Or they have just come out of us by chance? And what is this? Okay, if at all they have come out of by chance because of whatever it is, then what is their future and what is your future? Their future makes your future better. That parents will also have to think. And the question here, answered by the poet, is a child becomes unaware of the real world. And you are spoiling, the parents are spoiling the children here. They are not coming to the reality of the world because of the negligence of the parents only. He takes whatever it shows as real. Whatever is shown is taken as real. The puppet shows or whatever shows are there for the children, all these are not natural. They are fantasies, and children are taken into the world of imagination. They don't have their own imagination. Imagining something which is created by others, but they do not have their own imagination. When they just face the reality, they have a different imagination. They come to reality, they come to creativity also. And this kills the imagination and the power of creativity of the children. A child views different shows with contradictory ideas now. So by watching the televisions, children are becoming more contradictory, even to the families and to the society as well on the whole later. And they become criminals, they become victims, and wanting to get out of this victimization, they become criminals in some cases, making others victims. This is not realized by some of the parents. They get messed up in their thoughts. There's one more thing that comes up. The child is unable to utilize his or her time in thinking over the things, as he or she is already messed up with the thoughts. Of what? Of the fictional world. The world is full of fiction, imagined by others, but not imagined by the child himself, isn't it? Or herself. Here, the child could not make efforts for the development of his or her personality, and finally makes himself or herself dull and finally blind also. Children fail to understand the fairy tales as they are captured by virtual reality. The virtual reality is something which is here. They're captured by the virtual reality, something which is shown unto them, and that is taken into consideration as real. Their brain becomes soft as cheese, but they have to become strong now. What has to become is they have to become very hard thinkers. They have to face the hard world, harsh world. World is not soft all the time. World is very harsh, And the moment the children face the troubles, parents at that time, they fumble, they get worried, they blame the children. And what is that I have spent? We have spent so much on your skills, but what is that? What skills? Watching television skills. This is what they have done. This is the wrong that the parents have done, not trying to help children develop their own imagination. They could not think anything of their own. They depend each and everything on the television. Yes, their thoughts process also gets freezed up. Yes, and they get rusty after some time. And they don't even trust in themselves after some time. That is the point that they come to. Something which is very pathetic, very sad to know. This is the sad reality, of course. And now again to another thing, of course, the poet is coming to answer the question that parents would ask him as to how to keep the children engaged in the absence of the television. In the absence of the television, what should be done? Okay, let us see what this poet is saying. He answers that they should be motivated to read and read and read. So what is that the man says here? This is quite boring for most of the children. This is quite boring as an answer to some of the questions by the parents also. But reading brings some realities what most of the parents do not realize. Yes, of course, it is true. When you read, you will come to know more about the real world. Because when something is written, there will be an imagination, there will be something related to history, there will be something related to mystery. Every aspect is found in the texts and in the readings. And so let the children go on reading. Let them become imaginative. They should be in a position to imagine things by themselves, not going behind the imagination of others, but let them do something on their own. They need to be practical. Something should be experimented by them. So he adds that the children in earlier times used to read a lot, and that is how they became experts. Many of them have become scientists, and many of them have become doctors and engineers. What kind of engineers? Useful engineers. If at all in those days, if at all you see, for a place there will be maybe, if it is a village, one engineer. In towns you could see a few engineers countable, and in cities some more engineers may be there. But today you have so many engineers, so many doctors, but they have only the certificates but no profession at all. They are not professionals still. They have certificates but without jobs. If they have jobs, those jobs are not related to something according to their certificates, because they have not proved themselves to be what certificate shows. The practicality is tested. So if children read, that makes them do some experiment. But if they just keep on watching, more of watching will bring them a lot of excitement, but finally over a period of time or some years later they realize what they have wasted, but it's something not recoverable. Even parents will have to realize, but regretfully. So the nursery shelves were full of books. Also books were scattered everywhere. Moreover, the poets talk about the popular books on the adventure of his time. So many books of adventure are there, and they can be read. They include books of dragons, gypsies, queens, and many others. Many others are there. Also, the youth are, in the earlier times, used to read stories written by Helen Beatrix Potter. Some of his stories, like how the camel got its hump, and its characters are also mentioned. Many are there, but they are not read today. Most of the children are engrossed in some other work. So what is the point today? What is that they're going to do now? What can they do? They cannot do anything much better. This is what here the poet says. something, a very sad part, really a sad part, according to what he says here. So now we are almost at the end, closing. Well, we are almost at the close of this poem, the explanation of this poetry, and something which is very interesting also. The poet thus requests the parents to throw away the television set and install a bookshelf in its place. However, the children would resist the change by giving dirty looks, yelling, screaming, or biting. Yet they should be overlooked. Let them shout, let them do whatever they think and they want to do, let them do. They want to shout, let them. They want to give dirty looks, let them do. They want to keep biting. All these things can be overlooked because these are all the natural feelings. They come out. Let them come through all these experiments and experiences too. Over a period of time, maybe they just laugh at all those things. The poet says that the children will have no option left but to read books in the absence of the television. If you remove the television, they will have no other option except, yes, reading the books. Then slowly they would start finding joy and would even thank their parents in the future to fill them with the knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, for that, of course, children are going to thank the parents, yes, over a period of time. Not immediately, but as they just allow the children for their nonsense, they enjoy this today, but after some time, after some years, when they realize that they have become useless, who the children themselves, they have to regret. The parents will also have to regret. There is something which can be of no use at all. No one can help at that time. This is the stage which is really going to come, and that is what the poet is saying here. The poem tells about the damages caused due to watching television. At the end, that is what we have learned. It focuses on reading of books, and that is given a lot of importance. I hope this poem is really going to help you. This explanation does help you a lot, is what I believe. So anyways, take care of it. Thank you. God bless you, my dear children.